Welcome back, guys, to Trails from Zero, where we continue our prologue, having to go to the law offices to meet Sergei's acquaintance. Will help give us a little bit more information, I guess, a little bit more knowledge on what's going on, because we want to pursue whatever's going on with these gangs at this point in time. But before we start, a quick little caveat to the voices of the game. I thought that there was no option to have the battle dialogue on without having the cutscene dialogue on and to stop me therefore talking over the cutscene dialogue. Turns out that there was an option. It was the option I thought it was. I just read the option wrong and didn't test it, so I am a fool, and I admit to such. Sorry. We only missed about 20 to 30 minutes of battle dialogue, but from now on we will have it all. It's the other voices option here. Characters remain silent when on the field. I thought that meant the switching characters and the attacking on the field, those kind of things, because it's separate from battle, which says during battles. So I thought it was those, but it's actually not those at all. Those are counted as battle voices, even though they're on field. Field just means cutscene dialogue. So now we have the sound balance I want. Sky style, you could say. We have our stuff. We have our people ready to rock, ready to roll. So life is good, and we continue on, hopefully with more battle in the future. With cool S-Craft dialogue. Let's take it. So, we have one last bit to do on the second sweep of Crossbell. Now, sweep is probably not the word I'm going to use for it from now on. Sweep is a term I started to use playing further on into the Trails series. And of course, some of that, what I've learned from Trails and the way to play Trails, since of course playing Sky the Third, is being applied here. Sweep is just not the right word, is it? We're police. We should be patrolling, we're on a beat. So we should be using those kind of words. We're doing our rounds. We're talking to the citizens, finding out if there's problems. It's literally our job as police to do this, right? Think about it. I mean, good police anyway. Airships, trains, cars, they all cruise freely through the sky or across land at amazing speeds. We tend to take technology for granted nowadays, but if you really think about it, it's also incredible. Do you feel the same love, the same romance I'm feeling right now? Just really loves them trains, doesn't he? I'm for trains, but there must be plenty of people out there who feel strongly about other vehicles. Those fine curves. Well, look, like, this is why I forgot Station Street on the sweep in the first place. It's just not that many people. It's just a small street. At long last, the cargo's arrived. Need to deliver these quick, or else my old man's gonna chew me out again. Jeez, if he's always gonna complain, then maybe he should do it himself. No more? Need to deliver these quick, or else, but yeah, he's just saying the same thing. Can I go in the station? No, can't go in Crossbell Station. The other thing that I can do is, of course, cook. If I can remember the actual buttons for it. Gotta stand still to do this, right? But we have, like, crispy fry and all that to make, and I bought some tender whitefish, which cost 100, because we've got to figure out the cooking system as a whole. I'm assuming that based on their portraits is how good they are, but that's a big assumption to make, because it's got Ellie on 3 stars. I'm assuming the black is the fill up thing, so I'm assuming Ellie is 3 stars at this point. Randy, Tio's really bad at it, so let's cook one with Ellie, cook one with Tio, see if we can get some more stuff going on. A resurrection fry was made, so that's the best. Restores 30% HP and revives. Now let's try and make one with, Oh, I'm wondering if I had to back out further to get someone else to do it. Let's try and make one with Theo. That's not how you make it. But she made it fine. We want to make the other one, though. Find out what it is. It's cat food. No, wait. That's a failure. That's not even the other one? Wait, so how do you make the other one? Oh, yeah, so there's a good and there's a better, but there's not a worse. Oh, okay. Weirdly, I thought because of the scale of how things were, it was normal, good, worse. But that's not correct. That's not correct at all. So I managed to make a magical sandwich, but that wasn't the good. So that's still a normal happy ham sandwich. No, wait, all fails make cat food? What? And you're failing despite the fact you're supposedly good at it? Well, how the hell do I make the good stuff then? I can't make vanilla or lead because I sold the clear gelatin, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure cats would like bread. Do they like bread? Yes, I've heard that you can feed... To be honest, in the last session, it was like, oh, you can feed the cat. Or you should feed the cat. I was like, how do I feed the cat? Well, this must obviously be how I feed the cat. But keep those... Keep the guiding contained. Can I feed it? You know, I might have something here that Cop would like. I'm sure it'll be okay giving this to him. Would it? I mean, as long as I give him the crispy fry, maybe. Nyan Nyan? Okay, Cop. Bunya! Received more fish in return. Giving us a gift, eh? Thanks, Cop. Where in the world did you find this, though? So, just stole some stuff. Can't feed Cop again. We got 2 cat food. That's just bonkers. I completely thought the recipe thing was different than it's going to be. Well, I guess we know things are as they are now. So with the cooking done, or the cooking that we can do done, the cooking that we do have ingredients for done, with our sweep complete, if I'm right in saying, just trying to remember, is there anything else I failed at sweep? We head over to here, to the law office to continue our story. Grimwood Law Office. I believe this is the place. Yeah, I've seen its owner around the neighborhood before. I had no idea he was such a prestigious lawyer, though. Well then, Mr. Grimwood, I'm sure we'll speak again in the near future. Of course, I'll be here. Can't your division do anything more to solve this, though? I wish you'd think a little more about how this will impact the citizens. Currying favor with the populace is not my responsibility. If you'll excuse me. Was that 2 parts of a conversation, then? You 4. Is something the matter? Ah, I see. So you're those pups that Sergei decided to adopt. Come again? Hold on, that badge. You work for the CPD too? Who I am isn't important to you. I imagine you're here to speak with Mr. Grimwood about something. Whatever it is, I hope you don't intend on wasting his time. Unlike you useless rookies, he's a busy man. Excuse me? Excuse me? What? What was his problem? He looked like a detective from one of the investigative divisions. He appeared to be the arrogant type. Maybe, but I get the feeling Specs there can hold his own. Did you notice the weapon strapped under his left arm? Wait, he had a weapon? I didn't even see it. Impressive observation, Randy. I detected it with my sensors. He carried a large handgun. Military grade, I believe. Yeah, sounds about right. Dang, guys. You two are amazing. It's good to have someone that can tell you that, though. It was nothing. I just managed to catch it out of the corner of my eye. More importantly, should we not head inside and greet the lawyer? Oh, right. I'm sure he's very busy, but we should still go ahead and introduce ourselves. Let's do just that. Forget something, detective. Oh, pardon me. I mistook you all for someone else. Welcome to the Grimwood Law Office. How can I help you today? Oh, no need to hold back. If you have a question, ask away. You 4 look quite young. Have you gotten in some trouble with loans? Or perhaps you're looking to open a business together? Come now, ask me anything. Is that the 2 things that young people come along? You're in trouble with loans or making a business. Oh, okay. That's why profiling for young people. Ask me anything. No, sir, it's nothing like that. This guy's got a lot of energy for an old man. So this is the famous Grizzly Grim. I see the rumors are true. Hold on. Now that I've taken a closer look, I can't help but feel as if I've seen you somewhere before, young man. Are you one of the kids that used to live in this neighborhood? Wow, you remember me. That's right, I lived in one of the apartment complexes here about 3 years ago. Allow me to properly introduce myself. My name is Lloyd Bannings. So you did live here? Yes, that explains why you look so familiar. Wait. Bannings? Then could you be Guy Bannings' younger brother? Yeah, I am. You knew my brother then? More than just knew him, Never mind. I suppose you're here to discuss something important. Come on in. You can fill me in on the details when we take a seat. Oh, and where are my manners? I'm Ian Grimwood, lawyer and head of this law firm. I see. I was wondering when I would meet the special support section that Sergei told me he was putting together. Oh yes, now that I think about it, I read an article in the Crossbell Times about you. Oh, the flattering one. You suddenly showed diligence and spunk right out of the gate, didn't you? Yeah, well, they sure took some liberties with that article. So Guy's younger brother is a police officer now too. My, how wonderful. I can only imagine this is Adios' will. Mr. Grimwood, can I ask you what your relationship was with my brother? Well, the same one I expect you and I will now have. Guy used to drop by occasionally to share and exchange all sorts of information with me. As I'm sure you know, he was an incredibly talented detective. So I'd wager he ended up helping me far more than I was able to help him. Wait a moment. Lloyd, your older brother is a detective. The hell, man? Why don't you tell us about him? Sorry guys, I guess it just never came up. Besides, Guy's no longer with us. You mean he was killed in the line of duty? About 3 years ago now. Oh. That explains why he left Crossbell. What happened to Guy truly was tragic. Believe it or not, I've conducted my own investigations into that particular incident. Sadly, any leads that may exist eluded me. Is that so? Well, let's put that aside for now. It's not why we've come here today. Mr. Grimwood, we've explained our situation to you. Is there anything you can share with us pertaining to Ravash or its recent activities? Ravash, huh? There's a name surrounded by nothing but sinister rumors. Illegal dealings with both the Empire and the Republic. The selling of stolen goods, mirror laundering. Weapon trafficking, and even operating as the middleman for hiring Jaegers. I'd say it's more than likely they take advantage of Crossbell's unique situation to aid them in each and every one of their long list of crimes. What do you mean by unique situation? What he means is, while trade and commerce have grown exponentially over the past few years, Crossbell's political foundation is quickly deteriorating, right? Well put. Crossbell and politics are currently in an extremely fragile state. The majority of politicians choose to align themselves with either the Empire or Republic, and are nothing more than greedy, power-hungry leeches. Even if some kind of legislation to crack down on Ravash was proposed, it would never pass. There are simply too many Diet members in their pocket. For real? Damn. Unfortunately, he's correct. The number of Diet members tied to the Mafia is higher than I'd like to admit. That's likely the main reason the police can't touch them. The issue seems quite complicated, or perhaps I'm simply too young to understand. Does this mean Ravash can commit any crime they want with no repercussions? No, it hasn't got to that point yet. If the government were to turn a blind eye to any obvious crimes on their part, I'm sure it would send Crossbellans and our surrounding nations into an uproar. Therefore, Ravash has been very careful to avoid directly interfering with the citizens' daily lives. However, as long as they don't actually cross that line, the CPD won't lay a finger on them. They've overlooked so many of Ravash's smaller crimes that they can't see what they've all added up to. This can't be real. Reality ain't so pretty. Behind all the city's neon lights, there are demons lurking in the shadows. I can only wonder what sort of information is inside those highly classified documents. Anyway, that's essentially all I know about Ravash. However, I need to mention that the situation with the Mafia has taken a turn. Really? Could you explain? I hear that even the CPD has only just acquired this intel, but apparently a new faction strong enough to oppose Ravash has recently surfaced, and by all accounts they are quite powerful indeed. A new faction? Surely it's not the Bracer Guild, right? No, this new faction isn't a threat to Ravash because they're looking to bring them to justice. They're a threat because they're in the same line of business. You see, there's a powerful organization that operates out of the Republic's Eastern Quarter, and it's already managed to worm its way into Crossbell. What? You're certain of this? Yes. Previous rumors on this organization turned out to be true, so I have no reason to be skeptical now. They're called Hayway. Just recently, a new commercial unit registered under the name of Hayway Trading opened for business in the Harbour District. Hayway, The name certainly seems to be of Eastern origins. If things go south, it would mean a war between two organized crime groups. The petty fights we've seen between the street gangs would be nothing compared to that. You're absolutely right. At the very least, there haven't been overt signs of a dispute between the two groups just yet. However, I wouldn't be surprised if they began battling each other outside the public eye. The 1st Division seems to be keeping a close eye on the whole thing. You don't say. So the man with glasses who left right when we arrived was... Yes, that was Detective Dudley from the 1st Division. Coincidentally, he was asking me questions on the same topic. That must have been horrible for him. Lloyd? He went quiet all of a sudden. Let me guess, you noticed something? Yeah, I still need time to sort it all out in my head, though. Thank you very much, Mr. Grimwood. Without your help, we wouldn't have been able to find the lead we needed to move forward with our investigation. I'm just glad I could be of assistance. Sergei's always been a tremendous help to me, so personally I'll be praying for your success. If you ever run into any problems, you're welcome to stop by here anytime. I might stop by in a second, to be honest, because you might have more dialogue to tell me. So what's the next course of action? Should we go back to the SSS building and sort through all the information we've gathered? Good idea. But before we do that, now's the time to wrap up any unfinished business we still have to take care of. If my hunch about the truth of these incidents is correct, well, let's just say we're in for a bumpy ride. Well, we'll just have to buckle up then, won't we? Anyhow, let's head back to base once we've crossed off everything on our to-do list. Sound good? Yes, it does. Let us make haste. Well, I'm assuming that another sweep won't begin literally just after we've done a patrol or plodded our beat. Whatever words I want to use. At this juncture. Except for maybe in here, of course. I hope that the bit of information I shared with you for turns out to be a solid lead. Feel free to come and visit again. If there's anything else I can help with, just let me know. Well, I can't promise that I'll always be able to help, but you won't know until you stop by. Worrying alone doesn't solve legal cases. That's what's so tricky about them. Yeah, that makes sense. I assure you, Mr. Grimwood, if the opportunity comes up, we'll take you up on your offer. Good to hear. Are you waiting? Not going to say anything else now. And if I'm not around, you can always leave a message with my assistant, Pete. Trust me, his skills when it comes to office work far surpass mine. Your kid's gone now, though. What have you got in your basement? What dark secret lies beyond the door of a supposedly upstanding man? Pete stopped by from over at the lawn firm. He apparently is looking to make some meals for Mr. Grimwood. That boy certainly has a good head on his shoulders, so consider it responsible for his age. Right, was Pete there before? Mr. Grimwood has terrible eating habits. He managed to get past lunch on just a single cup of coffee. That's it. I'll have to start preparing his meals for him so he has no excuse. There's not another... No. There can't be. I'm just imagining things. I don't get along well with Pete. He got mad at me for not speaking clearly enough. Okay, Pete. Now, who can be my tester for dialogue changes? Aha! Station Street. The perfect place. We literally just talked to them. Yeah, okay, cool. I was worried for a second there. Just a bit. We might have to plod the beat once more. Am I really going to call it that? But it seems that's not the case. So at this point, we've gone everywhere. Oh, you never know if something might have been triggered by us. Risk it for a biscuit? I can still buy some more stuff. I've got some cash money. Because at this point, we're definitely given dialogue that makes it sound like, hey, it's chapter's end time. Nope. What's that? A message, maybe? There's a note stuck to the bulletin board. I've got some errands to run. Wrap up the case however you see fit. Sergei. Oh, I guess he stepped out. Who wants to bet that he ran away because the case seemed like a pain in the ass? Cannot rule out that possibility. Well, at the very least, we've been given permission to solve this case however we like. So with that in mind, what's our next step? Should we review what we know? Yeah, definitely. To start the meeting, inspect at the table. Sure, I was thinking, I had to say the next step is testimony, right? We need to know everything that people know. Everything is reported good. Nothing we have to report. We need testimony from the victims. We need to question the victims. That would be my next step. So let's save just in case I'm making a terrible mistake. Oh, I'm so tempted to run around again. I feel like we should be sorted, but you can never know with a Trails game. Let's get this meeting started then. First off, we should review all our info that's relevant to the case. The incident took place around midnight, 5 days ago. Members of both the Saber Vipers and Testaments were each ambushed by unknown assailants. However, the attacks occurred at 2 different locations in the city's downtown district. Here and here. The Testaments member was attacked in the alleyway to the west, and the Saber Viper got messed up in front of Ignis, which is towards the east. In other words, the attacks happened at opposite ends of the area. Exactly. By spacing them this far apart, it prevented each group from immediately learning about the attack on the other. Both gangs took their wounded members directly back to their respective bases, and the victims were moved to the hospital the next day. Weren't the victims transported there in the same ambulance? Yeah, I can only imagine how much of a shock that was to the paramedics. The gangs, however, wouldn't be aware of the ambulance's passengers. So consequently, each group came to the conclusion they were attacked by the other, which is what we confirmed today. Oh yeah, the only answer that makes sense is that there was a third party involved. Unless both groups rehearse their accounts, chances of each group being responsible for attacking the other are pretty slim. Agreed. Based on the evidence so far, it's safe to assume the attacks were the work of some third party. All we can do now is consider all the possibilities and rule out the ones that don't seem feasible. But we already have an idea who that third party might be. Isn't that right, Lloyd? Yeah. They're the ones in control of Crossbell's criminal underbelly. The notorious Mafia, Ravash & Co. According to the intel Gray shared with us, someone spotted mafiosos snooping around the downtown district a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to verify the credibility of that. But for now, let's continue the review with the assumption that Ravash was responsible for both attacks. Well, that just brings us to the next question. What was their motive? Exactly. Figuring out the answer to that is crucial. If we can't figure out their motive, we're all the way back to square one. Motive, huh? There's hardly any conflict of interest between the Mafia and the 2 gangs. There must be some line that connects these 3 dots together. I imagine you already have some idea of what that is, don't you, Lloyd? Well, I can't say with absolute certainty, of course, but I think there's at least one thing that might connect these 3 factors. So, like, ways evolved of the presence of AOA, the thing that instantly was mentioned and Lloyd went, thinking about. The new kids on the block. There was the establishment, in a sense, and then the people that are trying to muscle their way in. Upsets the balance. The only realistic possibility that comes to mind is Hayway. Alright, our Grizzly friend mentioned them, didn't he? That definitely feels like the most likely possibility for now. In that case, though, what about Hayway connects these 3? In order for them to be connected, there must be some necessity. For example, was it this connection with Hayway that made the attacks against the 2 gangs unavoidable? Yeah, that would explain everything. Oh, okay. Tell me more. What you thinking? Well, about that necessity Tio mentioned, what do you think Ravash would do if they found out Hayway was trying to establish a foothold in Crossbell? So it is what I thought. Well, I imagine they want to build up their forces pronto. Recruit more people and upgrade their weaponry, you know? Ravash should have no problems getting new weapons, given their known smuggling operations. But how do they go about recruiting people? Good question. Normally you'd hire Jaegers, but that's unlikely in Crossbell's case, given the scrutiny the neighboring countries put on us. So long as the non-aggression pact stands, Erebonia and Calvad would never overlook unauthorized Jaegers entering the state. The 2 direct factions representing them would likely react the exact same way too. Oh, that's it! Lloyd, could the Mafia be recruiting the gang members? Hot-blooded and more or less disciplined. I can't think of a more perfect pool of candidates to beef up the Mafia's presence in the city. But there are certain individuals in each gang preventing that, aren't there? Right. I can never see Wazy cooperating with the Mafia. And I doubt Wold would bow down to any kind of authority, even Ravash. He is not the type of person who would allow others to boss him around. So Ravash realizes this and plots to weaken the two gangs, intending to swoop in later and bag the remaining members. Hell, that must be it. Remember, this is still nothing more than a theory. All we've done is bring together the facts and try to make some sense of them. Oh, look at you being all modest. I think that your analysis of the situation isn't too far off from the truth, Lloyd. Your reasoning was sound and logical. Clearly, your detective certifications were well earned. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. So everyone, our next move should be to explain our theory to those two, don't you think? Those two? Hey, you don't mean... I sure do. Wold Wales and Wazi Hemisphere. Leaders of the Saber Vipers and the Testaments. Maybe I've corrected his name and I'm saying it right. I do not know. But do you think these guys will listen? Station Street, near where the construction materials are stored. Asked me to come here alone in the middle of the damn night. Who do these police brats think they're dealing with? Is that the last train bound for Calvert? Yes, I believe it was. Was he? Good evening, world. What a beautiful night to bathe in the mystic moonlight, wouldn't you agree? Oh, this is rich. You pretended to be one of those CPD pipsqueaks to catch me off guard. You just think you're so damn clever. Fine, bring it on, pretty boy. If you're looking for a fight, I'm more than happy to give you one. Let's end this. You know, I'm always up for a bit of late-night wrestling. But alas, I am but a mere guest at this rendezvous. How does that mean? You'll see soon. They just arrived. It's you punks. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Oh no, it's a pleasure to be here. So what's this fun anecdote you promised to share with us? Well, I don't know if fun is the right word exactly, but I'm sure you'll both find it interesting at least. Hold the phone! Anecdotes, fun, what the hell are you two going on about? Oh, well, you're such a simpleton. What did you... Surely you remember the incidents that occurred 5 nights ago? They're here to tell us who they believe the culprit was, obviously. The culprit? What do you mean? Impressive deduction, was he? I assume you already had your own suspicions. Well, at first I wondered if one of my members had perhaps acted out of line, but as I started to sort things out, I realized that something was off about the whole situation. That goes for the Saber Viper's side too. Sadly, that's as far as my deductions could take me. I see. That will make things easier to explain at least. Well, Wells, I know there are still gaps in our theory. Still, would you listen to what we found so far? Fine. Keep it short. Waste a minute of my time and I'll bash that baby face of yours in. And that's what we've come to with the information on hand. I'd like to hear each of your thoughts on it. My, how unexpected. To think that we played right into the Mafia's hands. Does that mean you agree with Lloyd's theory? But of course. After all, Ravash sent some of their agents to visit us already. They asked us to work for them, promising us the moon and stars for our service. Needless to say, I immediately turned them down and sent them on their merry way. Interesting. That settles things with one of them. So, Wold, I assume the Mafia paid you a social call as well? Yeah, about a month ago. They were acting all high and mighty, so I decided to show them what real strength looked like. Send them packing real fast. Can't believe they actually had the balls to pull a fast one on me like this. Wazzy, I'm postponing our duel. First I gotta warm up by crushing the smug mugs of those mobsters. Wait, you can't! Such a short temper. Calm down, Wold. Acting recklessly will just lead to... Last time was merely jest, but you really are a simpleton. Say that again. You know perfectly well that you don't stand a chance against the Mafia on your own. Just imagine it, the leader of the Saber Vipers, Wild Wales, waltzing into the Mafia's sights like a pig to slaughter. You won't stand a chance. Shut it. We don't know what'll happen till we try. Maybe you could survive. What about your poor little Vipers? Can they catch bullets with their teeth? What do you propose we do then, you bony wise ass? You really expect me to just sit here and swallow the shame of having our men hurt like that, huh? Of course I don't. I believe that only a small part of the Mafia was actually involved in this little scheme. As such, there's no need to take the whole organization on, just the handful of them who have it coming. And I know just the way to get our revenge and ensure they never show their faces in the downtown district ever again. I'll require your help though, Wold. You need my help? Hold on, you two. What are you planning? If you do anything to break the law... Oh, relax. If anything illegal happens, you'll be right there to stop it. After all, you're helping too. We're doing what now? Isn't it your responsibility to resolve the conflict brewing in the downtown district? I'd claim that makes it your obligation to gently persuade the Mafia into leaving all of us down there alone. For good. Do correct me if I'm wrong, Lloyd. Well, what exactly was he talking about? I do not quite understand either. Looks to me like he's about to sink his fangs into poor Lloyd. Remember, it was you who bothered to call us out here to share your grand theory. Isn't it only natural to see this case through?